a little trip with me, and hopefully you can see how the hood, suburbs, and Main Street are all connected. Enough respect here, I mean, we network across the globe, cause it's a global market in case you didn't know. And since we all about information flow, let me be the first one to welcome you to Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Let's talk tech, cause technology changing the game. It's all good in the hood, it's everywhere. Now let's get to the show, cause we live on air, yeah.
Yes, we are live on air, and welcome to the Tech Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane. So happy to have you here with me today on this edition. Coming up in our third segment, we're going to talk about a company that has the innovation that has a lot of people out there screaming about the Rio Olympics. A lot of broadcasters out there, they're using this technology to do so. And we're going to be joined by the marketing director of Live U coming up in our third segment. And they also have innovation for consumers out there too, so you don't want to miss that. Coming up in our second segment, we're going to talk about my recent Comic-Con trip. We're going to be talking about gears, gaming, and green screen. There was a panel that I was able to go to and talk to some of the people behind the panel about the gaming out there. So Sean, are you ready for it, Sean, and all you gamers out there? And coming up in our first segment, we're going to be joined by the creators of the USA Network's new show that will debut around October. It's called Fallng. Now, when I mentioned the producer name of Gale Hurd, what comes to your mind? You know, Walking Dead. What about if I mention Blake Masters? You think about Brotherhood, right? Well, they're going to be joining me coming up here shortly and talk about the new USA's series that's coming out, Fallng. You don't want to miss that, about the cast, about the premise of the show, and it's going to whet your appetite to make sure that you definitely tune in. Remember, you can always connect with me, paulonwheels.com. That's paulonwheels.com. And enjoy all the feedback that I'm getting about the show. I truly appreciate it. Coming up real soon, we're going to be having some giveaways on the Tech Zone, some pretty cool technology we're going to be giving away, so make sure you follow me on social media, and the best way to do it is paulonwheels.com. Well, let's get the show started, and this is the conversation that I had with Gale and Hurd at Comic-Con about the new show, Fallng, and then followed up by the conversation I had with Blake Masters, who's also writer and producer of Fallng. I'm here with the very talented and creative Gale Hurd. How you doing, my dear?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be here.
Gale, it's an honor to talk with you. I mean, some of your work has been outstanding. So how is Fallng kind of stack up to your other projects that you did?
Well, you know, it's ambitious. It is not based on pre-existing material, so it's completely original. That's really exciting. And it gives me an opportunity to explore something that's always fascinated me, which is the dream world. How we're connected through our dreams. Are our dreams trying to tell us something? Can we affect the world through our dreams? Can we save it, or can we destroy it? And those are a lot of the different themes that we're going to explore in the series.
And that sounds very exciting. So Gale, where did you get the idea to tackle this?
Well, you know, I was very lucky because the late Henry Bromell, who was a executive producer on Homeland and Brotherhood with Blake Masters and Rubicon, and Blake, who did Young Guns and also Brotherhood, brought me the script. And there's nothing better than reading a good script and saying, you know what, I can see this. I can see this world. I can see the show. And not only that, I can make it happen. And that's what I want to bring. I mean, I like to be sort of that magic secret sauce that's added to something that's already wonderful. And then to collaborate with such a brilliant director as our pilot director, Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, who did Intacto and 28 Weeks Later, was just the best.
And Gale, before we let you go, you've been at the con, over 20 cons, right?
Yes.
So tell me, what's the funnest con you ever had, and what was like your best memories of being at Comic-Con?
You know, there's so many. I don't think I could encapsulate it with just one. Although I'd have to say, the first time we took the stage for the first season of The Walking Dead, before it had even aired, and there were so many fans of the comic book, and they were almost trembling with fear that we'd get it wrong, because it's canon to them, it's canon to us. And when we showed the promo, and the cheers were crazy, so much so that we showed it again. And that's what we live for as creators who love comic books, who love genre, is when working with something that's pre-existing, getting it right.
That sounds good. So Fallng Water, when does it debut?
It debuts this fall on USA Network.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been an honor talking to you, Gale.
Thank you.
Take care. What it is. And I'm here with writer, producer extraordinaire, Blake Masters. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm just happy to be here at Comic-Con.
I am too. This is like our Disneyland, right?
Pretty much. I got about 65 pounds of comics in my bag, so.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, some of your earlier work that you've done, how does it compare to Fallng Water?
It's really different. I mean, I spent a lot of time doing shows that were very cinematically grounded in realism, and Brotherhood was a show that was very much in the same idiom as like Sopranos and Wire and Mad Men and Breaking Bad. And when Henry and I first came up with the idea of Fallng Water, what we wanted to do was take those shows, that sort of grounded drama, and then add a level of magic, add a level of sort of something otherly. And so we added to essentially that type of show the idea of, well, what if all our dreams are connected? What if each of our individual dreams is like a tile in a mosaic we're all sharing together? And it's not that you had the power to step back and see the whole mosaic, would you understand the meaning of it all? And taking that sort of genre, heightened premise, and then adding it to grounded drama created this really interesting stew that's sort of, it's something, hopefully wholly original.
So is it kind of like science fiction mixed with drama, mixed with a little bit of fantasy? How would you describe it?
I wouldn't exactly call it science fiction because, we don't do, it's not future, it's now. It's fiction, and it's not exactly fantasy because there's no dragons.
Oh, darn.
I love a good dragon, dragons are cool. But I think the goal is, to show the world as it is heightened. I think what I would call it is heightened, and so I think it's got, fun sort of action-y beats that happen in dreams, but really it's a character show, sort of a heightened character show. If this was a book, they'd call it magical realism, which sounds really pretentious, and I don't like pretentious. So I think what we do is we infuse genre into, we can fuse genre into essentially really high-class drama in the same way, shows like Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead are able to do.
It sounds very exciting. Now, the way technology is now, especially when it comes to sound effects, special effects, did it make this vision a lot easier now, what we can do with a lot of the graphics and everything?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that we really lean on and we really take pride in is our sound. It's one of those things that most television takes for granted, and we think that's the great unexplored, it's our secret weapon in a way, is that we get in there and we try to make sound worthy of, a really great movie every week. And because the way you hear something, it's really almost half the experience. And so little bits of ambience, like we'll take a scene between two people in a room and you'll be able to hear like the elevator on the other side of the wall, the gears going clunk, clunk, and it just creates this vibe of this tension. And it's like, it's there. You can't pick it out, but it's there and it makes you feel something. And that's what's really cool is, most television traditionally was on a crappy little speaker on a little 17-inch box, if you were lucky, black and white and 11 in my house. And that's where you watch television. So of course it was like a medium shot close in on somebody's head, and it was all about talk. Everybody's got 55-inch TVs now. Go anywhere. They're not that expensive anymore. Everybody's got a sound bar. Everybody's got good sound. So what people really want is they want a cinematic experience, and our goal is to give them a movie every week. We won't give them a TV show. We want them to watch a movie every week. We want them, and we want to go compete with shows that do that. We want to go compete with Game of Thrones. We want to compete with Mr. Robot. We want to go, be in that world of shows that are heightened and really embrace cinema, but we want to be original. We use the way we shoot the show, the lenses we shoot the show, the style we shoot the show. It's got a real specific feel that Juan Carlos Fresnadillo imbued in the pilot, and that we carry on forward. So we don't want it to look like any other television show. And it's twofold. One, we don't want to look like any other television show. But two is, we want the audience to always understand whether they're awake or dreaming. And the way we shoot it tells you. We don't have to have somebody has to say, wow, I'm awake, or oh, wow, this is a dream. That's bad storytelling. The way that the film is shot tells you. that when we shoot a dream, we shoot it very subjectively. You're always like, camera's on the guy's shoulder here, or it's right here in their face. It travels close to the dreamer. Whereas when you're waking, we tend to shoot it a bit more objectively, a little bit further away, a little bit more traditionally. And so the audience embraces our cinematic language, and it teaches them how to watch the show without ever telling them. We then don't have to like constantly be, explaining everything in dialogue. The visuals in and of themselves tell the story.
And let's talk about the cast that you assembled, and kind of like the mindset that went in to assemble this cast. Because when you have a project like this, you want to make sure you have the right pieces to the puzzle in there. Well, let's talk about that.
Oh, of course. Well, what's funny is we ended up with an incredibly diverse cast. We have a black Brit, a French woman, and an Asian American.
That sounds like a joke to me. The beginning of a joke, right?
It sounds like a bad joke. All we need is a rabbi and a priest. The truth is, we didn't start out with any of that. We started out with 3 great characters, and I was looking for 3 great actors. And what we found out is this. So there was no sort of attempt to do anything. I wasn't looking for diversity. I just found good people. David Ajla's role was written to be originally probably a 40-something crotchety white man who looked like Humphrey Bogart. Instead, I got David Ajla. And let's just say the women like David Ajla. But David is this phenomenal actor who came in and had such depth and subtlety. It was his part. The same thing for Lizzie Brocheret. She self-taped on vacation in a yurt somewhere. I still don't know where. It came in one morning. The cast director showed me. I said, "That's our girl." She never re-auditioned. She was just the character. She just had it. And it wasn't until sort of we got deeper into the casting processes that Juan Carlos and I had a realization is that we would see all these actors, a lot of whom I liked in other things, but I was like, they're not right for this. And what we realized is they weren't dreamers. That there's a thing certain actors had and certain ones didn't. It's like you either dreamed or you didn't. And it's like, do I believe that you have those interesting dreams that I want to go travel in? And it wasn't about were they good. There was just a vibe certain people gave off that they they're a dreamer. And to me, I think the thing that will resonate with the audience is that I think most people are dreamers, to be honest, out in the world. And we want the audience to be like, we want them to want this world to exist. We want them to be a part of this world. We want them to go like, yeah, I wish I could walk out of my dreams into my brothers or my sisters or my moms or my girlfriends. The downside, of course, is in our show, if you go into your girlfriend's dream and the two of you have a fight, you wake up and you had a fight.
Wow. So that sounds really, really awesome. Just what we're going to find out about our dreams and also how we're able to show this on the screen. So is there anything else we're going to learn about our dreams that may kind of like scare us a little bit?
I don't think we're going to find anything that doesn't scare me about our waking life, but
that's true.
I think what you'll find out is that there are people who've known about this idea for a very long time, and it's very powerful knowledge, and therefore they kind of want to keep the knowledge to themselves. They want to be able to use our dreams against us. No more so than, say, Goebbels in Nazi Germany or your average propagandist in American politics. I think that idea that there are forces larger than us moving the world in ways we don't understand is something that feels kind of timely right now. That idea that I'm on my personal quest, but my personal quest exists in a world where there are these larger, almost like tidal waves sloshing back and forth across the land that are bigger than me, more powerful than me, don't pay attention to me. And I think, they want to dominate, and I still have to find my way through my quest. It's not a show with sort of there's no end MacGuffin on this show. We don't want an end MacGuffin. We want a world. This is our world and things happen, but of course we want larger forces that take the little boats of our characters and knock them about a bit.
I'm really looking forward to this. And when can we watch? When is it going to be out?
Best of my knowledge, October on USA Network, right about the same time that Mr. Robot finishes its season.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that. And before I let you go, how are you enjoying your con?
Well, I love the con. My way of enjoying the con is I go over to sort of the small press comic book publishers, and I go up to people and I ask them, it's like, okay, what book should I buy? And I let them hand sell me something that I never would pick up on my own. And that's how I get my most interesting stuff.
What's the weirdest outfit you've seen?
I saw a guy cosplaying as Kevin Smith. He had the Kevin Smith hockey jersey on, the beard, the hat, the cargo shorts, but it wasn't Kevin Smith. And the hockey jersey literally said Smith on the back. And I decided, okay, that guy wins the con for me.
And you know what? The weirdest one I ever seen was a guy dressed up as Princess Leia when Jabba had her hostage.
I don't want to see that one.
Don't when you see Run Around. But it's been a great talking to you, my friend. Thank you so much and much success. And thank you again.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Fallng
water on the USA network. And here's a little still shot of the production right there. Looking forward to it. And also like to thank Gale and Hurd and Blake Masters for joining me at Royalty. They've done some great things out there. And this is the Tech Zone. I am Paul Amadeus Lane, and coming up, we are going to be talking about video games. Sean, are you ready for that? And we're going to be joined by a celebrity who was a part of that thing that was going on at Comic-Con. I want to say the press room. Yeah, not thing. But we'll talk about that, and also some things going on behind the scenes of video games. The things. We'll be right back here. More Tech Zone after this.